Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in to Near Disney, where us local panel of real estate experts and Disney enthusiasts get together to basically just have a chat about what's going on with the market and all things that are happening with Central Florida and a 25-mile radius of Cinderella's Castle. We have huge updates for you on what's going on potentially with the property tax alleviation situation. So definitely stay tuned for that. But first, we're going to cue our theme song. Hopefully that got you in the mood for magic. Before we get into our bevy of topics, especially talking about the property tax update, let's just introduce ourselves, and also feel free to introduce yourself in the chat if you're watching. We'd love to know who you are or where you're watching from. See how far our reach goes for selling the ideal of living near Disney. So I'm Elijah Lewis with Florida in Motion Realty. They call me the Prince of Real Estate here on Near Disney. And I'll throw it over to the square beside me.
Hi, I'm Sue Koptiev, also with Florida in Motion Realty, and they call me Aurora. So hi, everyone. Nice to see you.
Down below.
Hey, everybody. I'm Virginia Carlson with Florida in Motion Realty, and I'm also known as Cinderella here on the Dream Team. And we're so happy that you joined us here for our Wednesday discussion. Got a lot to talk about tonight.
Yeah, hope everyone enjoyed a cool holiday weekend. If you had Memorial Day off or if you did anything special for it, that's really cool. Definitely let us know if you have any traditions or ways that you honor our veterans. I talked to some people yesterday. I wanted to bring this up real quick that were saying that they're really intense workout exercising people, and they told me about the Murph Hero workout that they were doing that I thought was incredibly interesting. Basically, it's a CrossFit hero workout that stands as a testament to the enduring legacy of U.S. Navy SEAL Michael Murphy, who died heroically in the line of duty in Afghanistan in 2005. He was inducted into the CrossFit hero workout and has become a long-standing tradition observed by the broader community of athletes. People do this workout. They typically fit it in on Memorial Day as a way to honor. And this is like a 1 mile run they have it broken up into like beginner, intermediate, high end. I was talking people doing high end. 1 mile run, 100 pull-ups, 200 push-ups, 300 air squats. But while you're doing that run, you've got a 14 to 20 pound vest on you or something weighing you down that is like simulating the armor that our soldiers wear and how much that weight they carry to do their duty. So I thought that was pretty cool. They've got ways to kind of break that up, maybe make it a little easier. 800-meter run or half the push-ups. But I thought that was a cool like little tradition that those guys were talking about. Absolutely. Even just they were doing it in celebration for the Murph Hero workout.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And with that, I will throw it over to our topic. We're going to dive right into it about property tax update in Florida for a bit, particularly tax relief. So Ron DeSantis, our governor of Florida, he called for a special legislator on Monday to happen in Tallahassee. Basically, it's initiative to get on the ballot in November. What's going to try to make alleviation of property taxes significantly. Though they're saying like the ultimate goal is to reduce property taxes, eliminate them altogether. But basically, because this is something that is tentative, this is what they're hyping it up as. What it actually pans out to be, it's all subject to change. How it actually turns out on the ballot, but when you start at a position, what you propose, you try to go all in, and basically it's going to end up for voters needing to support it with 60% based on how our Constitution works, which is significant, but this sounds like a really significant thing that might appeal to a lot of Florida residents. So I'm just going to look at my notes here. Basically, it's about making homestead properties tax free. So if that means it's your primary residence that you live in as like your more or less, majority of the year home. and part-time residences and rental properties and foreign investors would still pay pretty much the typical property tax. But yeah, the plan is to do this without proposing new taxes. And they understand that people might look at this as like politicians' promises, like it's too good to be true, or there's something about it that just sounds too great. And so to kind of alleviate that, to make people maybe less hesitant to vote for it, they were given a kind of a hefty, it was like an hour-long talk from Tampa today, that they were saying like that this would be phased in so that it wouldn't be too drastic of a property tax elimination. Begins with raising the homestead limit to 250, like it's currently 50,000. That saves you just over $500 a year on your property taxes. So taking it from the starting measure, to 250,000, that would make it roughly $2,500 of savings, thereabouts. I don't have the exact math, but that's a significant increase. And according to the data that they were working off of, they said that this limit raise eliminates property tax for 60% of Florida property owners who homestead. So I mean, it's kind of like $250,000 home. That doesn't seem like a whole lot in this current market, but I do remember like when I bought my condo in 2020, that was actually like a $210,000 condo. So back then, for what the property value was then, that actually would have done it for me. Even like for people with single family home, multi-home, like, like they're going to probably need to wait for the phasing in of higher to totally have it wiped out. But they were saying that even like once they get to like the $500 limit incrementally, that could eliminate for even around 80 to 90%.
Yeah.
Because I know when we look at like that median home price of what a home is in Central Florida, it's like mid to high 400s the last time I checked.
Yeah.
So, I mean, for like those new construction communities that we go into and we talk about, they're kind of like those 3-bedroom starter homes or something in these, nice new builds with still some amenities. That's I mean, that could really help out for people getting started there.
Yeah, one thing I really liked about watching that video was I think he was trying to get ahead of commentary coming in saying that, you're going to take away property taxes being funneled into the state. What's going to happen if this is too big of a hit? And what I liked was he said, currently, everybody, we are operating on a budget this year that was less than last year's budget. And we're operating in budget. Last year, our budget was less than the year before. And the year before, our budget was less than the year before. So I think that was a really good buffer around this whole situation to help people realize that it's not going to throw us into an overspending situation. It's, that's just one of the other aspects that go into all this. And I'm sure it's way more complicated than I would ever want to try to, grasp. But that was, I mean, there's no other state in the country that's doing that. There just isn't. And so that right there is another reason, people are flocking to Florida.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, they said that the initiative was to reduce spending for 4 years in a row. Be like first state to do that in a while. They're saying that the government does not need new revenue, and that they weren't going to like kind of counter that by proposing new taxes in addition, which is something. I mean, we'll just see how the numbers work. I'm not the budgeter for the state. I assume that they know where they need money and not. But basically, they were saying that they understood that this sounds like so appealing that it might try to make people try to flock to Florida, overcrowd, which could potentially like have that situation like we were seeing during the pandemic where people were just pouring it like crazy. So to alleviate that and make this as something that's seen as a benefit by the Florida current Florida residents who are voting to make their lives better rather than make the lives better of people who would be pouring in and suddenly becoming Florida residents. They were talking about making there maybe be like a wait period of 5 years to qualify
5 years.
for for this new homestead discount. And so basically it's like the first people who are going to benefit are the current Florida residents who are currently homesteaded, who are voting in Florida now. So, that timeline might affect the sort of ravenous rush to just suddenly become a Florida resident and immediately homestead your place. Like he was saying, they don't want the entire state of Illinois suddenly migrating to Florida. So, which could, increase traffic and create like more competition in the housing market that way. So I like that they're talking about thinking of things from more angles when it comes to this property tax relief that they're proposing. You want to give the impression that you've thought it through enough and that it wasn't just promising everyone a unicorn, right?
Right.
So it was also saying like, they were highlighting that like 20 insurance companies are now working in Florida, and that more have come in, working to lower rates. So that's reassuring to people who would want to move here or who would want to maybe relocate within Florida to consider homesteading a different property in a different area. Like not everyone who comes to Florida came from out of state. A lot of people just come to Florida, come to Celebration, come to want to live near Disney from just within here as well. Like I was just doing a house show and a very nice young couple yesterday who they currently live in the Kissimmee area, and they were saying it was their dream to come into Celebration, and because they were going to try to build their family out. And I thought that was cool, just moving within Central Florida, relocating. So after that, big scare that came from the storm a number of years ago, where it affected mostly the West Coast, but it affected Central Florida with how the policy changed. Even though we don't really worry about strong winds here.
No.
Just make sure I got everything. I will say, like another thing that they mentioned that I liked hearing in their rationality. They always try to throw the compromises out there, like they were saying. People were trying to counter. I like the idea of alleviating property taxes for homesteaded properties, but maybe just for the 65 plus demographic. And the governor disagreed with this, basically saying that, that demographic has more capital already. And by making it broader, then more young people could catch a break. And I don't just say that as a biased young person. We did see statistics recently that we covered on the show that the average age of the first-time home buyer crept up to 40 years old this year.
Yeah, we have talked about that. It's not like in the mid-20s like it used to be.
No.
And insurance costs and property tax costs, when everyone does the math, when they decide, am I going to buy or am I going to rent, that does factor in. So keeping those costs down could help younger people decide it's finally makes sense to budget for making a home purchase and buy younger. So I did like that they thought it through that way, and that they wanted to prioritize, not just the retirement age with this.
Yeah. And the tax cut that you were talking about for residents, it's a residency thing. It's not owning a specific house for 5 years. It's just that you have to have been a Florida resident for 5 years in order to take advantage of that tax cut. So
good.
Clarify that.
So like I said, they said that special meeting is going to take place in Tallahassee on Monday. We will keep an eye on that, try to see how it goes, see if there's any more momentum. Maybe we'll give a news update if there's anything worth developing for the next Wednesday show. But other than that, yes, please subscribe, and we'll continue to keep you updated on this. But I thought this was the first meaty conversation that we could have about this in a while, because it just sounds like such a pipe dream, but it's cool to see it being taken as a real initiative. And if it's something that interests you, if it's something you think could make sense, show up in November and cast your vote.
Definitely vote for it.
And that also leans into this next topic here, for why maybe we're seeing the Florida luxury market surging to start 2026, according to floridarealtors.org. So record gains, multi-million-dollar homes and condo sales rising sharply. Basically, this surge in early 2026, they're seeing some of the strongest gains in the state, despite elevated mortgage rates and broader affordability pressures. So maybe these people who are in the super high luxury markets, they think that the mortgage rates may go down in the not so distant future, but they'll also see that the talk about property tax being cut for homesteads is something that, because when you talk about small percentage, even like 1%, 1.5%, or 2%, when you're talking about $2 million homes, suddenly you're talking about 50, 70 plus $1,000. And wealthy people, they love to really pinch the pennies and get down to the bottom line and the nitty gritty. That's how they keep their wealth. So maybe they're trying to even get ahead of that the 5-year timeline, already be a Florida resident. So
Right.
I mean, I don't know if that starts then or if that starts effective after, but if you're already a Florida resident, maybe that's why suddenly right now they're buying and they want to take advantage of the next opportunity to homestead. Usually that's early in the year. So I don't know.
March.
Yeah.
Even if we vote that in, even if we vote that in November, I don't know when effectively it would.
Exactly. If it would even go into effect January 1, we don't know. Yeah.
So they're thinking ahead. I think that partially explains why single family homes in the millions are jumping more than 31% compared with the first quarter of 2025. Maybe people are starting to think that, okay, this could be legit.
Yeah. Interesting.
And another part of what makes Florida attractive, not just our tax benefits, but it's our lifestyle here. So I thought you found this cool article, Virginia, that was talking about Celebration Florida events.
Yeah, we always try to let everyone know about things that are going on in and around the Cinderella's castle. And we love Celebration. And Celebration is coming up on the 30-year anniversary, which will be happening this November. Wow. So there are some things leading up to the 30th anniversary. And this, actually next month, June 13th. So in a couple of weeks, Saturday, June 13th at 9:30 a.m. This is open to the public and it's totally free. There is going to be a guided walking tour. It starts at 9:30, so it shouldn't be super hot yet. It's a good time to do a walking tour.
Agreed. Definitely.
The Celebration Foundation, they are going to have a morning walk dedicated to the history and community spirit that has shaped Celebration. Again, This is a free event, and it begins with a serene guided walking tour, and it will be really serene. I mean, there are certain areas of Celebration that you can just walk through, and it's just magical. Lots of, beautiful flowers and, walkways and just really nice homes to look at. So it definitely, you will feel the serenity. And they're followed by a presentation offering attendees a chance to explore and connect with the unique historical legacy of the town. So if you're interested in a walking tour, and it's open to everyone, again, June 13th at 9:30 a.m. in downtown Celebration. Something to look forward to.
We cover Celebration a lot on this channel. If you type here Disney Celebration Florida, you'll see all of our coverage of the history of the town and the neighborhoods in the town and the lifestyle and events that they put on, like the Christmas where they make the snow that is made out of soap fall. So yeah, definitely subscribe, because we cover that town quite a lot.
Right.
And you also had this broader Central Florida housing market update.
Yes. So as of the end of April, beginning of May, the Florida housing market has officially, in Central Florida, has shifted for the first time since the pandemic into the favor of the buyers. It was driven by significant inventory surge and price reductions. Over half of all price-reduced homes in the region are sitting on the market for about 2 months, or maybe longer, maybe less, offering buyers an enhanced negotiation power. So we wanted to talk about, why is there a shift all of a sudden since we saw the huge surge after the pandemic? The migration to Central Florida has definitely slowed. People are still coming, but just not as rapidly. And the pandemic created all of these bidding wars that no longer exist. It's not the case anymore. And homes are on the market, like I said, for roughly 60 days. So that gives the buyers more leverage in negotiating the price, their closing costs, things like that. And there's more inventory for them to choose from. So buyers can really be picky because they're not forced into the one home that's on the market and everyone wants it.
Right.
So what that means for the seller on the other side is you're encouraged to price it right from the start or expect it to potentially sit. So a little give and take with that. And we are definitely here to help all of our sellers kind of find that sweet spot of what they feel comfortable with and what the market is dictating. And we, so it doesn't sit for a long period of time on the market.
Sure. And all this data is kind of pertaining to a neighborhood by neighborhood case basis. I wouldn't say
county by county as well. I mean,
sure.
It's Central Florida, but there's a lot to talk about in Central Florida.
Yes, there is.
Like I would say it's not quite a buyer's market yet in Celebration, Florida, that we were just talking about. The inventory is just still a bit too low. And when something, especially in that luxury market like we're talking about, we have seen it move at historical paces. So, I mean, if you want to give us a call, like our phone numbers are on the screen. If you or anyone that you know is thinking to list a luxury market kind of property, we'd happy to talk to you about that, because we can show you data that will just probably pique an eyebrow about how fast some of these homes are selling and what prices that they are securing. And I would even point out, kind of to bookend what you were saying there, I found this graphic here from List Reports page that was saying, giving comparison to the approaches to value home estimates and how we realtors can play a part in that, kind of using our specific market expertise versus just finding an online resource and plugging in the address and seeing what value that it spits out. Because online home estimates can be a helpful starting point, but they sometimes don't tell the full story, because they're not going to factor in your upgrades, your condition, your layout is special, or what's really happening in your neighborhood on like a more recent basis. Because sometimes these markets can shift for a number of reasons quickly. So when you have an agent like us, with our numbers on the screen, it says we use appropriate comparable sales. We consider the market conditions and local buyer demand. Like we're in tune with this, even just word of mouth and what people are saying, what they're hearing, and what we've dealt with at the most recent closing table. Assessing property value and condition upgrades. So, we encourage you to, when we have that beautiful first walkthrough for your home, tell us everything that you did that made it special. If you just painted, if you just replaced the AC, if you just put solar panels on the roof or resurfaced your pool or did something cool like that, that's just not going to be accounted for on the appraisal site. Price strategically to attract buyers. We'll find the way to maybe give just the right incentive or just the right price. We just know the market through all of that constant day-to-day experience. So the online estimates, they're going to use algorithms and public data. They're not going to know your upgrades. They can't measure the real-time buyer demand for your specific area, because we say we know Celebration on a street-by-street basis and the new streets with the new construction that's going on. So we know that sometimes an agent that's a bit of a newbie will come in and they'll just bring up a sheet that's like, well, this house sold in Celebration, and he doesn't realize that it's North Village, which doesn't necessarily, even though it has the same square footage and bed count, command the same premium that a home like Honeysuckle in Main Village would command. So we have that market on a street by street basis for our area expertise. So so maybe they'll be giving you a price range. Like sometimes I laugh at how it'll be like $100,000 price range, and obviously that makes a lot of difference.
Yeah, so. That's a big range.
Absolutely. Okay, that's just throwing a dart at the dartboard, the price. Exactly. I promise you, we have never done that in our office, not even at parties at Christmas. Throw the dart at the price point.
And not even on a $4 million home. Have not done it.
And they're yeah, like I said, that luxury market. There are homes right now that have are listing as Celebration Realty recently for over 4 million. So that is crazy. And I just wanted to bring things to a close. I found this fun article that comes off our holiday weekend that just posted today on WFTV 9. Florida neighborhoods rank among the best for leisurely Sundays.
Yay.
Fantastic.
Talk about that as a lifestyle. I like that, leisurely Sundays.
Yeah.
Sounds our Winnie the Pooh lifestyle that we have here. So 3 Florida neighborhoods earned a national recognition as ideal places to unwind and enjoy leisurely Sundays. Recent survey from Calgary.com ranked neighborhoods in the U.S. based on qualities people associate with the perfect Sunday, such as walkable streets, local coffee shops, quiet surroundings, bookstores, brunch spots, and outdoor spaces. And among the 3 Florida spaces for that, Old Northeast in St. Petersburg, Seminole Heights in Tampa, and College Park in Orlando all made the list. So if you have an idea of like what's your favorite thing to do on Sunday, what's your favorite brunch spot, what's your favorite place in Central Florida, or if you've ever been to College Park, let us know. Give us the scoop on what's cool to do there. Let us know in the comments. Let us know in the chat. Or we can talk about it when you give us a call on our numbers.
Yes.
About buying or listing.
Yes. And I just wanted to give a shout out to Anita Page, our wonderful client, and she sent some lovely flowers this afternoon. And I just wanted to say thank you and give a shout out. Thanks for watching. Oh, and I also wanted to say happy birthday to Elijah Lewis. It was his birthday.
Yes.
And I wanted to give another happy birthday to you.
Yeah.
Thank you. It was a nice time. I went out to dinner, got some steak. I had a workout with my dad. We decided to do like a bench press competition, and he's kept in great shape all his life.
Nice.
That's excellent.
He's always going to be 10 feet tall to me. So
yeah,
that was pretty cool. He helped me hit a new max. So
awesome.
Nice.
That spot. Everyone needs that spotter in our lives, right? And
Yeah, that's right.
Better than your dad or your lover. So very cool. I think that was the breadth of the topics we wanted to discuss. Super intrigued and interested to follow what's going to go on with the property tax situation. We'll continue to keep that updated. And yeah, like I said, these are our real phone numbers. Reach out to us. Yeah, we want to buy something, want to sell something, want to see if maybe something's right for someone in your life. We are just so happy to keep that going. And with that, I think we'll just encourage you to hit the like button. Helps us out big time.
Yes.
And we'll throw it over to Kim Hawk, the fairy godmother of real estate, to sign us out. Everyone have a great evening.
Yes. Good night.
Make sure that you subscribe and like so that we can continue to give you up-to-date information on all things that are going around the 25-mile radius of Cinderella's castle, because this is truly a magical place to live.